What's going on, guys? I'm with the Moose, and today I'm back on MLB The Show 17 Diamond Dynasty. Of course, today is Friday, and that means they did a roster update. So let's take a look. If you guys want to take a look yourself through the entire updates, you guys can go over here, roster update, and kind of check it out through there. We're going to kind of scroll through, kind of go through the highlights, in my opinion. There's a few guys that were, very expected, at least in my opinion. And you guys will see who they are. So first up, Fernando Rodney finally gets an upgrade after being downgraded really early in the year. Not really going to change too much. He's only a 76, but good to see that. Guy like Matt Adams has been really good for the Braves. He goes up a little bit. Mike Minor, like a lot of these, they're big upgrades, but none of them are really going to affect how the game is played, at least not in the short term. So there's really no big changes so far, in the huge change categories. Nobody went from, like silver to diamond or anything like that. But we did have some guys that are getting some upgrades that could be very interesting down the road. And you guys can see one is right here, Marcell Ozuna. He's having a tremendous year, up to an 89 overall. That puts him right in the kind of the diamond range almost. He's almost going to be a diamond. Likely could be the most expensive card in that collection. Once the prices kind of settle, although Giancarlo Stanton is going to be hard to kind of pass up in terms of price, but still, this Marcell Ozuna should definitely go up in price because he's going to be a little bit more rare given that he's an 89. Aaron Hicks only one off gold. Now he's had a great year for the Yankees. Somebody in the Yankees that did go gold is going to be Gary Sanchez. He gets a +3, goes to an 87 overall. He's been having a tremendous year ever since coming back from his injury. Still can't really hit lefties too well other than power, but his against righty statistics are very, very nice. And he even got a little defense boost, which is solid as well. Let's keep rolling through here. It looks like Alex Wood did go gold for the Dodgers. That's not really going to change his price too much, I would assume. He should jump up above 1,000 stubs because you can quick sell golds for 1,000. But honestly, I think he's going to sit right around 1,000. The Dodgers just have so many good players. So for a player to really go up a lot in price, they're going to need to go, almost to be diamond, if not actually be a diamond. Lorenzo Cain did get a +2. He's still going to be a gold, obviously, and an 87, but it is cool to see that. Same with Roberto Osuna. Goes up to an 88 overall. Going to be even better for you out of the bullpen. He's nasty. His slurve is just nuts. And then Kenley Jansen has been tremendous this season. He's carrying my fantasy team in terms of relief pitching. And obviously, the crazy stat that everyone kind of became aware of this week is that he has not walked a single guy all year. It's kind of amazing, unbelievable season so far. He goes up to a 97, and he was already crazy expensive, so he's going to be even more expensive, I suppose. Let's see where the other ones, and I don't know why they're not showing them. Maybe I missed them. If they don't show these, I'll show you guys in the actual roster, but I am not seeing them here, and I don't think they're on this, unless these are like populating right now. I'm not even really sure. But looks like they're not on there. But yeah, a couple big upgrades that happened that maybe I'm just missing, maybe I'm blind or whatever, were, of course, Aaron Judge and Cody Bellinger. We'll show you guys that in the game. But first, I want to see if anybody got downgraded. That was big time. That might be kind of a concern. Looks like Manny Machado did go down one. Not too big of a concern, though. I mean, he could go gold eventually, but if they only drop him down one, they're probably not going to drop him down too much more than that. Kipnis went down. Irvin Santana went down. That's kind of weird. He's been having a really solid year. I haven't really been keeping up with him. Maybe he got hurt or something. I have no idea. But it's kind of weird to see him go down despite his good stats. Lucroy went down. Let's see who else. Chris Bryant did go down to a 92. That Cubs set might be a little bit cheaper because of that, but he's still going to be expensive, of course. Porcello did go silver. He's been having a terrible year for me. Really disappointing. For me, I should say, in my fantasy league is what I meant to say. Been terrible year for the Red Sox and terrible for me on my fantasy team. Looks like Maeda went down as well, and Rich Hill also did lose his gold status as well. Mark Melancon almost goes silver from high gold, so that's something to be aware of as well. But like I said, let's get into the kind of important stuff in this, the really cool upgrades that happen, and the ones that were very expected that I don't know why were not listed on that, but they were listed online, so they definitely did get upgraded, but we'll just make sure real quick. We'll go to some inventory and see what these guys are looking like. So yeah, if we go over into inventory here, you guys can see Gary Sanchez, obviously, like we said, but also Aaron Judge up to an 87 overall. I believe he got a boost to his contact, I believe. I can't exactly know. I really wish they had him listed on there because I don't have his actual stat-by-stat increases, but hopefully he'll be listed on that roster update at some point. He did go gold, though. Let's see what his price is doing now. He was around like 3,000 to 4,000 before, and same deal. I mean, the fact that he's only an 87 and he didn't get any crazy upgrades, I don't really think he's like amazing and must-have or whatever, but he is a cool player, of course. And then, like I said, Cody Bellinger also got an upgrade. although it was not listed on that as well, unless I missed it. Like I said, maybe I'm dumb, maybe I missed it, but he did get an upgrade, and we'll see if we can show you guys him real quick. Where is he at? Cody Bellinger, 82 overall. You guys can see kind of same deal with, in terms of stats as Judge. Very good power, okay contact. The fielding and speed are kind of average. But I could easily see Bellinger going gold. They probably just didn't want to jump him right up to gold right away. Although I wouldn't be surprised if maybe even next week if he keeps tearing it up, but probably the week after, assuming his stats are still basically the same, he's probably going to be a gold guy. So be aware of that. Let's see what his price is doing right now. Looks like still under 900. So if you think he's going to go gold, maybe invest in him. I might buy a few of them just in the off chance he does go gold. I can either quick sell him or sell him for even more. Which will be pretty good. So those are the updates. Let's get into the blog, though, and of course, blog link down in the description below. But check it out, and we'll go through it right now. All right, guys, so one of the big changes they did today was actually some new exchange missions. So, of course, if you go into your missions here, Diamond Dynasty, and then go over to exchange, you guys can see these ones that have been here for a while. But the new ones right here are the equipment for pack, sponsorship for packs, current to classic stadiums, and gold to diamond players. So let's break them down. 500 equipment items for a bond is a habit pack. That is a lot right there. Let's see how many I have. I mean, just a rough guess, I probably have like 30 or 40 equipment items. Now, I do usually quick sell the silvers. So, I mean, that's not a terrible one. Bond as a habit packs are pretty good. I don't necessarily know if it works out in terms of stubs or whatever to do this, but it might be a decent idea. If you want to have some fun, if you want to open a new pack and you have a lot of equipment items, go for it. And if you do it, let me know what you get in the comments down below. Next one up is exchange 500 sponsorships for a 10-pack bundle. This one, not entirely sold on. I guess it's kind of the same deal. If you want to open some packs, go ahead and do it. I would not quick sell any gold, or I should say I would not exchange any gold sponsorships or especially diamond sponsorships. Same deal with the one above. The equipments do not exchange golds or diamonds. Even if they only sell for 100 stubs, that's pretty darn good. The silvers sell for like 10 or 20 usually, so exchange those. Keep your golds and definitely keep your diamonds. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but I'm going to say it anyway, just to make sure you do not exchange your diamond or gold sponsorships or equipment. Sell those instead. Next up is going to be exchange 50 current Major League Baseball stadiums or MLB stadiums for one classic stadium. Now, the classic stadium is non-sellable, but I suppose you could quick sell it. I'm not entirely sure what those quick sell for, given that they are diamonds. I think it's like 250 for a stadium, so that's not really worth it in terms of that value. But if you want a classic stadium, but you don't really want to spend 1,000 or 2,000 stubs, it could be worth doing this, but selling 50 MLB stadiums is actually pretty worthwhile. Most of the stadiums go for around 50 stubs a piece, and you could probably make a decent amount of stubs off 50 MLB stadiums. That's really not too bad. If you sold them all for 50, that's 2,500 stubs minus the tax out. You're still making over 2,000 stubs, and you can buy basically any classic stadium except for Polo Grounds. So that's really the only way that you would make, or this would make any sense, is if you got Polo Grounds out of this pack. But like I said, maybe you have a ton of non-sellable MLB stadiums. This is a good way to use them up. And then finally, the worst one in my opinion is this one. Exchange 75 gold live series players for one diamond live series that is non-sellable. So this is terrible in my opinion. The only way I would ever do this is if you had like all the collections done and you wanted to just open a diamond pack and see if you got like Trout. That's honestly the only way I would do it. I think it's a terrible value. 75 gold live series players equates to essentially 75,000 stubs because you can quick sell all of them for 1,000. Even if it was the worst diamond player, or sorry, the worst gold player, they would all quick sell for 1,000 apiece. That means you're basically exchanging 75,000 stubs worth, and probably even more because most of those guys you likely could sell for even more on the market, assuming they're non-sellable, or assuming they are sellable. So honestly, do not do this unless you just have like a stupid amount of stubs and you're just trying to have some fun. There's no rational reason to do this set. So it's a good idea to have these in the game. I like that they have them. I just don't necessarily agree with how much you need to give up to get the items. But these first two, I don't think they're too bad. I don't necessarily think it's the perfect value, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world either. But these next two, kind of, I would recommend staying away. Alright guys, next up is a new pack. The bases loaded pack this week is going to contain 4 player items with an increased chance to find diamond and gold players. And it says look for pack exclusive all-star flashbacks, Carlos Beltran and Craig Kimbrel. I'll show you guys those in a little bit. Unfortunately, there's not more information than that. There's no, it doesn't say like 2 times chance for a diamond player or anything like that. It just says increased chance. So do it at your own risk or open it at your own risk. I will be opening a few of these in a video later on today, so check back after this video is posted. You guys will see a video opening a few of these bases loaded, but let's see what they look like on the market. Craig Kimbrel is a 99 overall. There you go, right there. And he's actually not that expensive for that good of a reliever. I think his issue is his pitch selection. Look at those pitches, 4-seam, knuckle curve, 2-seam. Now, his stats are crazy. He's going to throw probably 100 miles an hour with that 96 velocity, or very close. His K per 9, hit per 9 is the best you can get. I mean, you got nothing wrong with the stats, in my opinion. It's just the pitch selection. If he had a changeup, he would probably be selling for like double the price, or maybe even like a slider. I guess you can kind of term the knuckle curve as a slider, but it's pretty easy to pick up after a while if you see it a few times. Don't get me wrong, he's still going to be nasty. I'd love to have him on my team, but that's always been my issue with Kimbrel, is that he doesn't have a great pitch to get lefties out. You're basically going to be throwing a lot of fastballs, and that's kind of risky, because if somebody gets a hold of one of those, it's going a long way. But cool pull if you get him, and still sells for, above 50,000 stubs, which is, not too bad at all. Also something to know, he's only the third 99 overall that's actually available to get in packs, or without doing Pepe Alazar or whatever, stuff like that. So pretty interesting. And next up is actually going to be that Carlos Beltran, who I believe is a 93 overall. So let's actually minimize this overall. And right there, Carlos Beltran selling for about the same as Kimbrel. So if you pull either one, obviously you're going to be happy. But don't worry if you pull Beltran and not Kimbrel. It's still a really good pull and still sells for basically the same amount. Looking at him, real quick, his stats are crazy good. Everything except for against lefties, and even against lefties, he's okay because of that power versus left. His contact versus left, not great, but his fielding is actually pretty darn good. 84 fielding with decent strength, really good speed at 76 and 71 stealing. This card is a beast. I'm surprised he's selling for so little. I guess it's just the contact that's really what's driving his price down, and maybe his vision, but otherwise, this card is really balanced, a 5-tool player in my opinion, and really can hit almost anybody, especially because he's a switch hitter that kind of has that added element. Even though his contact is low against lefties, he should still be able to do some work, especially if you can move your PCI to where it needs to be. So great card right there, and definitely one you want to keep your eye on. Now, finally, I want to show you guys real quick. They did release, what am I doing here? They did release a lot of all-star flashbacks into the game that you can get now. Like this Tony Perez is a new card, great card that can basically be earned through different things. So a few of these have already been in the game or whatnot, but a bunch of them are actually very new, like Fernando Rodney, new card right there. Very cool to see a lot of these new guys. Jared Weaver, that's cool that he got one. So basically a ton of new all-star flashbacks, new flashback Adam Jones, which I would love to have, looks like a great card. Clay Buchholz is cool to get one, obviously Red Sox player, I'm a fan of that. But like I said, just take a look through yourself. A bunch of these are new, some of them are not new obviously, but a bunch of them are new, and definitely take a look because of course all-star programs should be coming out very soon. And finally, we're going to close this out with a little the show mailbag to kind of get you guys caught up on what's going on. Of course, like I said, blog link down in the description below, check it out yourself. But down there, let's see what we got. It says, will you add more All-Star Series players as we approach All-Star Week? They say yes. New All-Star flashbacks and legends will start pouring into Diamond Dynasty in the ticket counter and Battle Royale, along with 2 new programs for a 98 overall flashback and a 99 overall legend. That's crazy. So the new programs are going to reward insane players, which probably means they're going to take a while, but hey, they're going to be really worthwhile. Next up, it says, speaking of All-Stars, any hints about plans around the Home Run Derby and All-Star Game in early July? It says, more will be revealed soon, but look for a ton of special content starting with the programs next week, multiple events, new player and equipment items, plus a few surprises. Now, I wanted to focus on that because it says, but look for a ton of special content starting with the programs next week. Does that mean that both programs are coming next week? I mean, you could interpret it that way. I'm not entirely sure. I have absolutely no inside information. I'm just reading what this says right here. And what that says to me is that both programs, both All-Star programs, are going to drop next week and presumably Friday, because that's when they drop new content. So be aware of that. Be on, if you guys grind out programs like I do, you got to be ready. See if there's some new programs. At the very least, it looks like at least one of the programs will be coming out next week, and potentially both of them, which will be absolutely insane in terms of just the time you got to put in for grinding those out. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below. I know this video was long, but hopefully it caught you guys up on what's going on at MLB. And like I said, definitely check back later for a bases loaded pack opening. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.